your life. Hello, ladies and gentlemen around the world. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I hope you can hear me. Oi, mãe, você está me escutando? Diz um alô aí. Anyway, I decided to put an urgent call for meditation because there are urgent calls all over the world. I have been receiving messages from different people that have been channeling from different sources, and they are all saying basically the same thing. You must all know that we are traveling through a storm. That's why I'm talking to you from my solo spaceship above Earth. I'm just kidding. I'm really in a good humor today. But uh, so the messages are all saying basically the same thing. We have to be patient and we have to meditate and we have to go inside of us to find peace, to find calm, to find answers. Basically, you can find everything inside of yourself. And that is a very like short summary of the messages that have been going around the planet from different sources, from different beings, because the good news is that we are not alone. There are lots of light beings around us in this planet at this moment, and they are here helping in one way or another us to go through the storm and to go find the light at the end of the tunnel. So, astrologically and energetically, seeing things where we are at now, it's right in the middle of the storm. In this storm, as you know, I mean, this storm, but storms, as you know, are very intense, have a lot of movement, can shake things up, can destroy things. So we are going through an energetic storm that is here to push us to destroy old patterns, to destroy old systems. And after the storm, after the cleanse, we're going to see that beautiful calm after a big storm when the sun starts shining and the light starts coming through the clouds and the birds start singing and we start rearranging everything that broke on our yard, or if it was a huge storm that took somebody's roof, everybody will go there and help rebuild the roof. And those are just pictures, metaphorics of what we're going through in a bigger picture, because this is an energetic storm and it is embracing the whole world, is not only where you are at. We have the tendency as humans to think that things are only happening around us. So if we live in a particular country, we think that's only happening in our country or in our city, or things are only happening to us. Oh, sometimes we get into this selfish view of looking at only what's happening around us. But if you look at a bigger picture right now, this is happening all over the world. The storm is, there is no place to hide from the storm. There's no dark that is going to be a hide from the light that it's reaching us right now. This is like huge, huge, huge light, and and we haven't reached the maximum of that. And according to the Tzolk'in Mayan calendar that I study and follow, the energetics of the days approaching, we are heading to an end of a big cycle of 260 days, which it's just a fractal of a bigger cycle. So all these small and medium and bigger and huge cycles are all closing up right now, wrapping up in December. And the day on the correlation that I follow of the wrap up of this whole thing, it's December 14, which also matches with some astrological uh, conjunctions that start on that period. And on the 15th, we start a new wave, a new cycle. And we have the first wave of that cycle on the first 13 days after, like starting on December 15. So 15 plus 13, 25, 20, until December 28th, that wave goes through. And in the middle of that, we have the astrological conjunctions that tells us we are entering, definitely entering the age of Aquarius. Mhm. When the moon is in the seventh house and Jupiter. Remember that song? P- People already knew back then. Some beautiful composer downloaded that song and sang for us, welcoming the age of Aquarius, the new age of Aquarius, where light is going to thrive. And that is why we're seeing all that we were seeing right now, all this reaction from the dark side of the force. And remember, the universe encompasses everything there is, dark and light. Therefore, there is a space, a place for darkness, and there is a space, place for light. So when it's dark, we go to sleep, and when the light comes, we awaken. So that is what is happening. We are like going through that moment where the first rays of light start showing up, and we know there's gonna be a full day. A full day meaning like a full new cycle of light, where nothing can be hidden. And dark is reacting because it wants to be always dark. But dark needs to give space for light, because now it's time for light to work here on this planet. It's we had enough. We have the period of darkness, and now we're gonna have the period of light. The period of light, and all these beings are uh, our brothers and sisters from the stars, from other dimensions. From, I don't like to say specific stars, because there are beings from other dimensions. There are beings from inside the planet. They have been there for a while. Yes, there are beings that live inside the planet, and that's going to come out to light as well. So there are beings at different places around us, and we are here incarnated in a human body. Some are not on human bodies, but we're here all experimenting this transition, because it's huge. And not only the period of transition to another age, it's huge, but also the experiment that is happening on Earth right now. Because there are beings on Earth right now, us, who have come from different places on this galaxy and other galaxies to be here right now for a certain particular reason. There are different reasons why different beings are here right now. But anyway, this is a huge moment. The experiment that is being done here, in summary, it's a human body that has mixed DNA from different species that haven't been getting along exactly very well. And it's kind of like the galactic confederation decided to make an experiment and said, okay, we're going to make this human being body where we can incarnate different species, and this body is going to have DNA from reptilians, from ocean, from water beings, from birds, from from dogs, from, and I'm saying this animals because the animals here represent the different species that are on this planet right now, which our human body has this mix of. And that's why the scientists have come up with like this evolution idea of us coming from reptiles to mammifers and monkey and jumping into a human being. Is not exactly like that. But we do have the DNA of all these different species because this is an experiment to see if we can harmonize all of this. So the spiritual beings we are incarnated inside this body that has this mixed DNA from different species is working a spiritual path of harmonizing all of this. So more than harmonizing the planet outside with all of this that is coming out right now, we have to harmonize our own universe that we are incarnated into, our universe, our physical body, the body that has been assigned to you to work on. So I was assigned this body that has a lot of background from different races and cultures, and I've been working on breaking old patterns of negativity, suffering, a lot of suffering. Imagine, like, I'm just gonna give you my example. I have DNA from, oh, I have ancestors from Europe and different parts of Europe, from Spain, from Portugal, from Italy, from France, and I have ancestors in the First Nations in Brazil and the First Nations in Guatemala, which were the Mayans. And besides others that I don't know, that's as far as I know. So I have all these ancestors codes inside of me working their things. And my spiritual being incarnates here and it's like, okay, I have the opportunity of breaking down with some of the suffering that has been caused by some of these ancestors or that has been gone through, right? For example, lots of Europeans came to the Americas and brought slaves to here and also caused a lot of suffering to First Nations, to the Mayans, to the First Nations in Brazil, in North America. So all of that is coded because everything we do and we think and we create with our energetics stays imprinted on what is known as the Akashic records, or in easier words to understand, in kind of like a hard drive where everything is recorded. Everything that we do and everything that we think and we feel is recorded on this big hard drive, galactic or uh, universal hard drive. And we can actually reprogram things from that, accessing the information from inside of ourselves and our own DNA and our ancestrals. And I'm saying all of that because that is the most important work we can do right now as beings that are awakening to other realities, to awakening to some truths that are coming out to light. The work, the most important work we have to do, is connecting to ourselves, and this is done through deep meditation. And now you might be asking, what is meditation, right? Meditação in Portuguese. Ação, I mean, it's a word that has action and like a mediation of in action. Anyway, meditation basically is when you become aware of what's going on your own universe. And for that, there are different techniques to reach that center, that balance inside of you. I've done, I've practiced different techniques during my life. I started young. When I was very young, I used to do yoga, and yoga is a form of meditation. Even if you're just thinking you're exercising, but you are quiet and doing slow movements, and you are very concentrated on yourself, and that is a form of meditation. Then I used to do transcendental meditation, and I used to um, I'm going to talk about the most important work that I did spiritually that led me to understand meditation. It was a place in Brazil that it still exists. It's a spiritual retreat that is not a religion. It's a group of people who got together and bought a couple of farms in the rural zone of Brazil in Minas Gerais. Minas Gerais is the name of a state there. And I used to go there and join their work. So it was a place where nobody used to eat any animal products. And the work we used to do there spiritually was silence. So we only spoke the necessary words, and most of the time we were in silence so that we could connect and listen to ourselves, even if we were doing things. And that is very important to notice because for us in the west side of the world, we think that meditation is only being seated with the legs crossed and eyes closed and with the hands in the mudra and chanting mantras. And that's just an exterior picture of what meditation is, because meditation is the moment when you actually connect with yourself and you can listen to yourself and you are totally present in that moment. And when you achieve that and you can be present at every second all the time, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you're always in a meditative state. You're always paying attention to what's happening. You're always listening to what's happening inside. And by consequence of you're always listening to what's happening outside too. And by joining that spiritual retreat that I went there several times and being in silence, I was able to connect with myself in a way that I became this constant state of meditation. And I'm always like that, except if something throws me out. Because there are external factors that come, like let's say you're driving very happy and in meditative state and totally paying attention to everything, but another driver that is out of your control decides to not pay attention to what is doing, and then crosses the red light, and then you have an accident. and then it takes you out of that meditative state. But you were there in that meditative state, and you can still regroup yourself into rearranging that accident into something more harmonic for your life, right? Paying attention and knowing why that particular thing happened. But I don't want to talk about the kind of negative picture of things, but things can appear on your way and throw you out. And but if you're trained into this meditative state, you just regroup yourself and breathe. Hope I'm not making too much noise on this. Okay, so breathing. And when I use breathing for meditation, for going into deep states of meditation, I think about two movements. One, when I'm breathing in, I breathe in calm, peace, health, anything good that comes to my mind. And then I breathe out anything that doesn't serve me anymore. And by doing that several times, you oh, we have somebody coming into our chat. I didn't see her. Just a moment. I'm gonna admit Olinka here. Are you there? Hey, Olinka. I think I caught her by surprise. Well, I didn't really organize any meeting here tonight because I didn't have time this week to think about it. And I just like I'm just gonna go live and whoever wants to join. So I'm
Well,
glad you connected, Olinka.
I'm glad. Just a minute. I thought that you were not going to be here. Just a minute.
Okay. Anyway, if you have any questions about meditation, please post on the chat right now. Any questions about everything? Because I know I throw a lot of information on you right now, and sometimes it's a lot to absorb. But hey, Olinka,
Sorry about that.
I'm glad you joined the force.
I am here. Let's
So
join it. Yes.
So I was just explaining what meditation is and about the storm we're going through tonight. Tonight, storm, the storm we're going through in the world right now, and the most important work that we have to do, because there are lots of messages coming from different places, come from the Galactic Confederation, from Archangel Michael, from you name it. The messages are coming from everywhere right now. People are seeing lights and spaceships everywhere in the world,
Oh, wow.
UFOs,
I
and
haven't. I wish I had.
well, sometimes we don't need to see that anymore, right? I spend a lot of time in my life hoping to see a spaceship. Okay, Fabiani, it's asking what time is better to do meditation. Every all the time, Fabiani, all the time.
The
But
best time, I don't know, would be whenever you have time to do it.
yeah,
Like,
whenever you have time.
just a minute.
Okay. For me, I like to meditate. Well, I meditate. I'm in a constant state of meditation, but the time that I go deeper, it's before I go to sleep, because then I influence my
Yes.
state of dreaming, which I consider as another part of our living. Is just that our consciousness, instead of being focused here on this dimension, it's focused on other realities. So I like meditating deeper before I go to sleep. So I do a deep relaxation, and I start thinking about all the cells from the head to the toe, relaxing, relaxing. And sometimes I think about water, like a waterfall
Uh-huh.
coming on my head and
Sí.
washing out everything through my
Uh-huh.
feet. And that relaxes you, and
Sí.
listening to music. So all of those things help you understand how to get into this deeper meditation state. And the more you do it, then you get to that state that you're always in meditation.
And also doing Tai Chi and Qigong really
Hmm.
helps a lot. And I just like to calm the mind, also to be like have better, like stronger legs, knees, and ankles and feet, which are the parts of the body that not many people really care about until they get older. I care about because I like Tai Chi since I remember, but it has to do a lot with what you're saying right now,
Hmm.
like calming down in meditation,
And
in
there are
movement.
different ways of meditating. You don't necessarily have to be
Mm-hmm.
still, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love dance meditation, and I used to
Mm-hmm.
practice the dervish swirling meditation that
Ah,
you
wow.
connect with one hand to the
Whoa, yes.
cosmos and the other hand to the earth, and then you swirl to the left, well, first to the left, and then you
Mm-hmm.
let go. When you're swirling to the left, you let go of things, and then you change to the
Ah,
right
wow.
and
Sí.
swirl, and then you attract what you want to attract into your life. So there are the two different forces. Everything that you work with energy, when you're going left, you're releasing. And when you're
Mm-hmm.
going right, you're attracting.
Miriam, ¿cómo dices en portugués la danza de los derviches?
Dança de dervishes. Não me acuerdo como se diz em português, pero en inglés,
In
dervish
English, how do
dance,
you say dervish dance?
dervish dance,
Yes, I've seen it. I love it.
which is a
Yes.
meditation, right? But they're
Yes.
moving. And the
Yes.
idea of the dervish meditation dance is that when you're swirling and you're focusing your sight in one point, let's say you look at your hands, and you're always looking there, you're swirling and you're looking there, so everything around turns blur, it
Mm-hmm.
blurs.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And you become one, your center becomes one with everything, which is amazing. Is that is it's a sensation of being in the center of a storm.
Mm.
Everything is blur and swirling around you, but you're centered on that focus on your
Mm.
center.
And you have to be.
Is saying that your sound is a little bit low. If you can
Is
put
it?
your volume up,
Let me check it out. Is it better now?
that's better now. Yeah.
Okay. Gracias.
So this call for meditation came from, like I was saying, different messages people have been sending from different channelings,
Mm-hmm.
and one in particular stood out, which is a message of a Brazilian spiritual guide that I follow, and he was asking everybody to connect with in meditation, to ask the Galactic Confederation
Mm-hmm.
to intervene on what's going on right
Mm-hmm.
now.
We have to.
We have to, and the thing is that now I understand that we have the Galactic Confederation, but we also have the Alliance. And the Alliance is being led by the Pleiadians, but it seems like something is not completely flowing with what they're doing. And we need a higher level up intervention right now. And all, according to him, all we need is about 10% of the humans asking for this intervention, and that would be like around 800 million of us asking for this intervention,
Ah, mhm. Wow.
and they will intervene. And it doesn't mean it's going to be peaceful because we're in the middle of the storm right now, and when dirt and dark is being cleaned out, it happens what's happening right now. So there's a lot of chaos and confusion happening outside, but we still can center ourselves with through our own meditation and become observers of what's happening, and action is needed from ourselves, we enter in action. But
Mhm.
if not, the best thing is not to react in negativity of what's going on. And I've been even meditating in about that, because all of this rules and lockdowns are happening in Canada and all over the
All
world.
over
I
the
know it's
world.
all over the world. Yeah. Right now, we cannot have people visiting us at home in Canada, in the
Really?
province. Yes, we can.
What? From
Yeah.
any world, and like international visitors, really?
No,
No one
anybody.
can.
Like I can't have
What?
friends here at home. Well, I can, but if I do and a neighbor decides to snitch, the police will come.
And then what? You get sued?
Sorry. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. What the-
No, really, it's ridiculous. And we have to laugh about it, because what are we gonna do? Lower our vibrations?
then, but you get sued or what?
What's no, they have been, they fined somebody in Vernon because they had a party yesterday, and in Kamloops they went in, and some people were
A
playing
rave.
cards. They were playing poker at home, and the the neighbor snitched, and the police arrived there and arrested the owner of the.
Let them die, anyways. We're gonna die anyways, somehow.
That's the thing people don't understand, like, oh, they're all acting out of fear,
We are eternal.
because we're fearing. What are
Not
we
the
fearing?
egos.
We're fearing to die.
Thank
We better
goodness.
get ready to know how to die.
Because people is afraid of everything, of living, of dancing, of everything, even dying. So that is not our business, that's their business.
Anyway, they put these rules here, and it's like a dark cloud coming over people, like, you can't have fun, you can't have your friends over. Everything that is fun, they're cutting down, because humans are so happy, they want to party, they want they
We want to play drums
we want to play drums, we want to dance, we
in
want
the
to
city
drive.
hall, in the pyramid.
But one thing they cannot take from us, it's our inner freedom.
Mhm,
And that's one thing I wanted
mhm.
to share, because on Friday night, I was feeling very overwhelmed about these rules. And then I went to sleep and I went into a deep meditation, and I asked my guides, please give me some advice, give me some light about this.
Mm.
And then I was taken together with, I met in the astral plane, I met Selena, which is the owner of the El Quinto Elemento channel. And our guides took us to see how free we are, because they taught us how to go from one dimension to another and jump to another, all these realities, how they are all interconnected, and that we are free, our consciousness is free to jump from one to another. And it was very overwhelming, the understanding of
Mhm.
that. I woke up and I was like, holy, I have to absorb all of that, because it's difficult to explain the experience in words. But basically the summary was that we are free, No
Yeah.
matter how many rules, no matter if even if they put you in prison because you wanted to be free, you're still free.
Whatever.
You're still
Yes.
free. You can go into a deep meditation state.
Hmm.
Hello, Celina. Celina, si quieres entrar, te envío el link. Lo voy a poner el link ahí para que ella entre. Copy link.
I like your spaceship on the background. Ah, me encanta, está bien padre.
Okay. So it was the message of this was you're free
Hmm.
no matter what.
Hmm.
And I woke up free. I woke up
You were free.
Uh, and I was like, okay, then there's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. Let things play out the way they need to play because people are learning in different stages. They are on different stages of learning right now.
And we are not really that high as we think, as ego think we are,
Hmm.
because there are other higher levels that we couldn't even imagine right now. So it is good to, even though I'm not a humble person, I would say so right now that we need to just, if we're here in this dimension, is for a reason. We are dense. We're still here.
We,
and
we we came here to learn how to dance with the storm.
and with all the drumming and all the music and all the laughter and all the everything, all the whatever. I mean, we have to be just ready for anything.
Ready
If
for
it's
anything.
even ready for suffering or pain or dancing or loving or being alone or play with the children or going to a different new country where no one understands whatever you say or backwards. Be ready for anything. Be adaptable, serve, and expect pretty much anything from life. Serendipia total. Serendipity.
Serendipity.
Just accept anything. If it's wrong or right, whatever, you can still learn from that and wait
The only I
patient.
think I can't accept is I don't want to wear a mask because I want to breathe.
You know, something about the mask that I do like a lot, very much, is
What?
that before COVID,
Uh-huh.
I wanted to laugh about everything, and I would not, because I would think people's looking at me. I don't laugh. They're gonna think you're crazy, even though I know that I am. Okay, but now with the mask, when I laugh, nobody notices, right? And I'm just really
I get your
laughing about the whole.
I get your point. Meaning like I was suffering with the point of view that they want us to hide our smiles, but now
But they can't.
you're switching the point
But
of view. You're saying, okay, you can laugh about how ridiculous it is and nobody's gonna see it.
something else today at work, at the Four Seasons in the morning, I gave a yoga class
Hmm.
with my mask. And I told the guest, I told her, you wouldn't know, but I'm laughing inside of me because I'm happy. I'm really enjoying this. And
Now
she said,
look at this.
what is that?
I'm making a breathable mask. It's got
let, me,
little hole.
let me make another one. There you go.
Uh, Laura está preguntando qué es serendipity.
Expect the unexpected from life.
Laura es, esperar lo inesperado de la vida. Expect the unexpected. Be
Cheers for that.
always ready. Be always ready for anything,
Mhm.
because anything is possible. Even the most amazing, beautiful things. Like there can be a storm all around town, and then right on top of your house, the sun is shining.
Or
And,
backwards.
or backwards too. Yeah, depends on what you're calling for.
I think that all of us we have chosen or felt, which is the same thing, not if it's karma, right? But if we choose to be there because we're used to that, then you will suffer it. But if you switch that, you can even play with it and learn from that.
That is absolutely right.
See.
Okay, so what about if we do a meditation right now? So we have a few people watching live, and if you're connecting after this after this is recorded and is not live, you can still tune in because there is no
Mhm.
end and beginning and end of time. Everything
Mhm.
is always happening at the same time. So this energy is being created with all of us who are entering into this vibration of this meditation, and it's staying there, vibrating. So you can tune in even if it's recorded and join and make it bigger. All right. So I'll let you start guiding and then I'll step in.
Okay, so it's going to be a Reiki. First of all, thank you for what you're doing with your channel because this really helps the energetic field of the planet in this case, or even though we're just so small, right? We're so small. We're
Small
particles.
and big.
We're small and big,
Yeah.
but I was thinking about that because of comparison of the galaxies or the universe, right?
Oh, you have
But
an entire
still,
universe here.
but still, if you give the intention, that will receive the intention. So in this case, I was gonna say that we're gonna share, as we mentioned before, I think sharing Reiki to the world
All right.
and humanity,
Okay.
and I would add to the universe and all the galaxies and all of us, which is the same thing as you just said it. That I agree with that.
Okay. And although in Reiki we don't put an intention, this time I think we should put an intention, and
Mm-hmm.
the intention, the main intention of all the messages that I have been receiving this week, I think it should be asking for higher up intervention
Mm-hmm.
and allowing allowing the transformation of light to come through and getting us
Correct.
ready. So the intentions are this: we're asking for the Galactic Confederation of Light Beings to interfere on this transition so that it happens through the light and that we get ready to receive the amount of light that we are all going to receive in December this year. We have just been receiving bits of it, and right now it's accelerating, and we're gonna get into a huge beam of light, and we need to be ready. So, this meditation will be part of something we'll do to get ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah,
right.
beautiful. So to begin with, we shouldn't start as we mentioned and as you just mentioned before by ourselves. So there are sacred names In the name of, I don't mean religiously. I know that religious has already like a bad reputation. Please leave that outside for this manner and just the sacred names. En el nombre de Cristo, in the name of Christ, I don't mean Jesus, but also Jesus, Maestro Jesús, Cristo cósmico, the cosmic Christ, Maestro Hermes Trismegisto, Master Hermes Trismegisto,
Archangel Michael,
Saint Germain,
Trigueirinho,
Madame Blavatsky,
and our higher consciousness of all of us joining this meditation.
Mhm. You are your own guru. You don't need to follow no one. We're all together. You have your truth, and we have our truth together.
So if you're watching, if you can close your eyes for better concentration and start breathing slower with consciousness of the air you intake and the air you release. And every time you intake oxygen, breathe in together all this good energy that transforms into light all of darkness, and breathe out the darkness that doesn't serve you anymore.
Mhm.
And start commanding your all of your cells to start vibrating higher, and this higher vibration happens with speed, the speed of light inundating each cell of your body. If you are initiated in Reiki, you can use your symbols. If not, we're using it to here.
Mhm.
And we're gonna extend this higher vibration and light to all of the cells of our bodies in a way that the light expands from inside of us to the outside and to our surroundings, and it starts enlightening and vibrating height around all of our room where we are sitting,
Mhm.
and it starts expanding even more outside of the room to the whole house or apartment or wherever you are. And your light keeps expanding, and it expands through the whole city where you live. Your energy is floating over the city and expanding like a wave of light, and expanding through the province or state, through the country, and through the entire planet. So we're all gonna be, imagine all of ourselves floating on top of the planet and involving the planet in light, beautiful, beautiful white light. And when I see light, I see the whole rainbow spectrum myself. So we're involving the planet into this beautiful aura of light that harmonizes and reaches every being that is ready to receive light and to step into higher vibrations, to understand that we're not alone here. We're all together on this journey, everyone at a different level of understanding, but we're all together on this journey. And every one of us has a different role on what's going on.
Mhm.
I see that we're joining many other light beings.
Mhm. That always happens.
So let's be in silence for a few seconds or a minute and feel it from the heart and see it inside. Keep breathing with your consciousness in and out, expanding the light, embedding yourself with light. It's, you slowly come back.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter how long it goes. Like when you're by yourself, you can stay on that state as much as you want. But always remember that that state is always with you no matter what. If you're
Mhm.
talking, if you're working, if you're driving, you can always maintain that state of awareness and calm and be the center of the storm yourself.
Totally.
And
It
I
reminds. Oh, sorry.
so no, go ahead, go ahead.
It reminds me, gracias, of the movie La Vida es Bella. That there's like a war going on. Have you seen that movie?
I don't remember.
It's an Italian movie that there's the Second World War going on. I don't know the names of the actors. I never really cared about it, but the message is amazing. He teaches to his child that even though they are in war, he's a comedian. He just makes fun of everything, even of when he knew he was going to die because all these soldiers took him to kill him. He was playing. He was a soldier,
That
but
reminds me.
sometimes, uh-huh. No, por favor.
Just reminds me of reminding everyone again that we have lived and died many times.
Sí. And I was gonna say that, and sometimes we do it backwards. We're living in paradise, and we make a hell of that.
I know.
And I've seen that more often, not just in me, but in humanity. That honestly is not that bad, but we complain a lot. So we just should be wiser and be grateful for what we have.
So on what is happening around the world right now, we have a few choices, right? And it's all a personal choice of every one of us. We can comply and go into darkness because the rules are all being played by darkness. So if we if we comply that way,
Yeah, I mean, it's your choice, right?
yeah. Or you
We all
can,
have made bad choices, right? I've done many, many times.
yes, exactly. We have done, and maybe this time we decided to do a different choice, or no,
This
it's
time it's a worldwide call because everyone, even the most billionaire person on earth, felt something different on earth with COVID, right?
yeah. And I was thinking about all these rules locking down the world right now when December approaches. And usually, December is a month that lots of people around the world celebrate parties and religious dates, and they have parties and they exchange gifts and drink and you know all this kind of celebrations in December, which are not going to happen this year. Sorry, I
Well,
have to laugh
not.
about that because the way I see it is that we've been celebrating all these parties at the end of the year with a lot of consumism and not focusing on what's really important. So all the spirituality of that hasn't been there. So now it's being destroyed by what we perceive as the dark forces. They're saying, "Oh, you can't have fun." But if you look on the other side, it's like, okay, they're giving us actually an opportunity to stop with all that BS that we have been doing and actually
Yes.
stay inside and focus on ourselves, which is the most important thing right now.
And it was since many, many eras ago, but we just got too distracted with all the worldly stuff. And still, even with the quarantine and all these, I've seen it even in me that I'm like in a spiritual path or whatever that means. Um, Lost in track, like really lost in translation. Because we're humans, right? And if we, but
That's when we allow the questioning inside of our mind, because we have two sides of the brain, right? We have the left and the right side. One is the logical, the other one is the creative, and the system has taught us that we have to choose sides. So we even choose which side of the brain we use the most, but
I choose all of them.
we have to use both sides. And where does it connect? At the pituitary gland, which is our third eye, which is inside of our brain, right inside. And if you cut that gland in half, you know what the shape is?
No.
Have you seen the Horus eye from the
Mhm.
pictured on the
Oh,
Egyptian pictures?
okay. Yes, okay.
The Horus
Oh,
eye is our pituitary gland. It's our third eye.
so it is not metaphorically, it is
Real. It's the
real. It
physical
is
stuff. Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I
and
appreciate
and that's where we connect, like that's the third point of the triangle on the sacred geometry, right? So you have the two eyes and you have the third eye, which is inside in the middle of the brain, and which connects both sides of the brain. And if we start using both sides of the brain instead of having to choose sides, we get to neutrality and to totality. So we start embracing all of what represents who we are, and the struggle starts ceasing because you start accepting
Mm-hmm.
both of the sides that composed all there is. And that's a picture of the universe too, because with the yin and yang uh, sacred geometry again, the yin and yang is the representation of both forces, dark and light, always in harmony, and always on the dark side there is a light bulb there. And on the light side, there is always a dark bulb there, which keeps the balance of these two forces of energy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So when we choose sides and say, okay, I am going to be on the good side only, you're still struggling because you're not accepting the dark side. And this dark side has a space and time for it. And on the bigger
Uh-huh.
cycle, we're ending a big cycle of darkness right now. It
Mm-hmm.
had its moment, and now it's ending. And now we're going to have a huge cycle of light on a bigger scale of things, right? And that's why we're here celebrating this transition, right? Because, okay, now we get to be
Everyone, it's
enlightened.
on a. I really hope so, not just for us. I was gonna say for everyone, but honestly, it's not gonna happen because of the yin yang.
No, it's not going to happen to
So,
everyone that is here because we have different beings on different stages of evolution.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Iliana is saying that the sound went down out of a sun. Mm,
Yours or mine? Maybe
I
mine's
don't
good.
know. Audio
Yeah.
settings. Sometimes my sound. No, mine is good. Okay.
Is it
So,
better?
so I was gonna give another analogy of about that, of the different stages of evolution of different beings here right now during this transition. And it was very wise. It was a guru that was talking about that. He mentioned that when a tree that is got fruits around, is growing fruits, goes through a storm, the green fruits might fall because they're not ready,
Mm-hmm,
but the strong fruits will remain after the storm, and they will only fall when they're ripe.
mm-hmm,
And that is kind of what we're going through right now, because not everybody is ready, and some will have to return to this moment in another
mm-hmm,
planet or another space that will experiment that same kind of event because they're not ready to go through right now. And some
mm-hmm,
of us are ready to go through different levels to different places. So it's very individual, but the moment it's here. The opportunity is here for everybody. Even if people wake up at the last minute of the big blast of light coming in December, there's still time.
I really hope that I am that person. If someone wants to be the last one, I wish I am the last one of the last ones.
What do you mean? You're already awake?
Uh, n-
In
nah.
in different levels, yes, you
I
are.
wouldn't be. I wouldn't
You
be
wouldn't
in
be here if you're
this.
not.
I wouldn't be in this dimension. Honestly, I would be with Hermes Trismegisto instead. But I'm not. I'm not. No, I'm not even Saint Germain. I'm not even wanting that.
Laura is
What?
asking here, but what happens if this is the last life for somebody? The
Uh,
last life, it's a broad concept, because
mm-hmm,
if we think linear, then think, okay,
mm,
this is my last life, maybe here. But first, you never really die. The body
yes.
dies. The body dies. But our consciousness, our soul doesn't die.
And
So
even the materia doesn't even die, it just
it
transforms.
just
So you
transforms.
so you
Yes.
scientifically never die. Never. You become earth and then worms and then something else and you never die.
No, I've always thought about, and because in the physical universe, everything has a purpose, right? So an apple has a purpose, the purpose of being eaten and enjoyed. So if an apple falls and stays somewhere without serving its purpose of being eaten, other agents of earth comes, the bacteria comes and starts transforming that apple, because the one constant in the universe is movement.
Hmm.
So nothing is really wasted and stagnated. Everything is moving all the time. And in this constant move, we are being born and dying, but in into experimental bodies, into, how can I explain, because our consciousness doesn't die, it's always
Sí.
part of everything. And then we focus our consciousness here on, okay, I'm incarnating into this body, and part of my consciousness is now here on this body, but the body is not going to last forever because it's in constant movement, and it will return to earth in a way or another, right? We're all
It will
gonna.
stay on Earth somehow. And then when Earth explodes, it will become another star, galaxies,
Exactly.
universe,
And
and
that was,
whatever. And
and that is not you there, right? You were at one point consciousness of that, but your consciousness left and went somewhere else to experiment something else. So being aware of that is very important, because then we can release the fear of dying. The death is a transformation. I think Olinka froze. Are
did
you?
I?
No, you're
Oh.
back. Maybe you were just in deep meditation.
I was still, yeah, I was watching on you.
So liberating our fear of death right now, it's very important, because through the storm, many of those green fruits that I was mentioning before are going to fall. That means lots of people are going to leave their bodies during this process, and that's not something we should be fearing. And we should be working the attachment we have to people and to things right now. And I'm talking
Totalmente.
to myself as well.
I was gonna say that. A friend of mine, he passed away yesterday, and then another guy from COVID or whatever that means. Um, and I really think that people is afraid of living and afraid of traveling and afraid of dying and afraid of whatever, being on a stage or give it a try with dancing or music or whatever. So if someone is already into fear, maybe they should try to hydrate more their kidneys because they're correlated with fear.
Perfect.
Hmm.
That is a perfect thing. Yeah, because our bodies, all parts of our bodies are connected emotionally to a part of our consciousness.
Cheers for that.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
water
Hmm.
purifies most of most of our body, because our body is composed of 2/3 of water.
And if you have lemon, just pure lemon with water, no sugar, no nothing at all, just water and lemon, the
and
real
add,
lemon.
and add a thought to that water, because the water molecules absorb thoughts and ideas and emotions,
Sí.
right? So when you're drinking that water with lemon, you embed that water with
Mm-hmm.
the idea that it's clearing your fears.
Mm-hmm. Do it with consciousness.
with
And
consciousness, yes.
the lemon will break down the stones from the kidneys, and you have a better filter.
And stones on the kidneys are nothing but resistance that we create from fears.
But also in the material manner that also exists. Uh, if people have taken milk, cheese, sugar, salt, whatever in all their life, kidneys, like any other filter, if you don't wash it off, they will contain like any other filter of the bathroom or the kitchen or our bodies. They will just gather all the garbage we don't want to keep it. So we're not break it down with all the lemon and the water and flush it out. Just flush it out, flush it out. And that's it. Cheers for that.
All right, so I think we're gonna wrap up now.
Mhm,
Cheers with
mhm,
water, embedding the water with all the love and light elements that will clear our fears
mhm.
of anything and will keep us connected to light and calm and peace during these moments of chaos we are all going through.
Amen.
And like the church says, sangre de Cristo tiene poder.
Sangre de Cristo.
All right, everyone, thank you for being here. And this short moment we were together here in unison and vibration, it's created, and you can always tap into this moment at any moment you go through any
Mm,
bad feelings of uncertainty. Tap into this that we have created together here and make it bigger and
mhm.
spend. And much love and light to everyone from the heart and from our higher beings. Un abrazo de luz, queridas.
Gracias por todo, Miriam, por todo lo que haces. I highly appreciate what you're doing.
Oh,
This is this is
thank you for
really
thank you for coming by too, and thank you
important.
everyone. So this weeks to come are very intense, even if we don't have communication anymore for some reason. Keep that light in and vibrating high and smiling to the transition that is coming.
Mhm.
But I hope we will still have opportunities to connect here in the following days and weeks.
We will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Buenas noches. Good
Buenas
evening.
noches. Good night. Boa noite.
Bonne nuit. Muchas gracias, Miriam, por tu tiempo.